Oh, I gotta turn on the camera. No.
I think I'm in a bad horror movie.
It is plugged into my desktop. God damn it, what's plugged in? I went my own ass.
Hello, everybody, and welcome. This is the BREWDCAST. I am, as always, Bud Robinson. With us tonight is the lovable Leon, who doesn't quite know how to use a computer. Say hi, Leon.
Hi, Leon.
Hey, hold time out, before we go too far.
I'm on the internet.
Leon, do you have headphones?
I have headphones. I do not have headphones.
Oh, okay. Yeah, do that.
I can connect to my computer. I'm good. Okay.
Yeah, do that, because that's going to help us out, because right now I keep hearing us, which is why we have headphones. We are professionals, ladies and gentlemen. Don't cut this. This is important.
This is what professionals do. They use gaffer's tape. Gaffer's tape, not duct tape.
I don't know what that is, but mine are just... I just bought a high-quality pair. I'm good.
The foam was coming out of the top of these, so I used gaffer's tape to put them back in.
I got these for Christmas one year for my wife. They're like $330 headphones.
Jesus crackers. I think these were 60. No, 40.
Hey.
Well, while he's setting up, why don't we introduce the other individual who's on our feed? It's Town. The Town Drunk is with us tonight. How you doing, Town?
Pretty good. I'm pretty sure half of what we just talking about is going to get cut.
Yeah, well,
Leon's trying to figure out how to work the computer.
Yeah, it's kind of hilarious.
with his flickering screen.
You might just want to switch to the phone. That was a good picture, though.
Careful, the ghost from the rig is going to come get you when your screen flickers. That's what I'm worried about. I'm just going to see that ghost and be like, oh, fuck out. Oh.
It's too bad that's not a Discord reaction. It just happened. Leon, you should switch to your phone.
Oh my God.
This is not working.
This is not productive. Okay, yep.
I love this one.
That is the response to Leon trying to figure out a fucking computer. It's a sad trombone. Yeah. Did you figure out the headphones yet, Leon?
Yeah. You are in my headphones.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Well, then let's do it.
All right.
Give this a shot.
Yes.
Our intro's done. Really professional.
Yes.
I thought that was self-evident. I'm sorry for not. I'm very. You want to just start over?
Fuck no. That's our intro.
We're good.
We're good. That's great.
So,
oh my God, that's the cold open.
Yes. So Tony Khan has done it again as
the hot
as Mr.
What has he done this time, bud?
This was your exact response. The fact that that's your first response and not like, oh dear, like, is he okay? It's just like, you fucked up again on Twitter. So,
I have a question before we go deep into this.
Yeah.
Did he fuck up on Twitter, or is he just doing the same thing that he's always done, and now because his company's not as hot as it was, now he looks like a tool?
Potentially. I mean, that's really what I want to talk about. Is this is not the first time? Now, just to back up a little bit. So Tony Khan, I don't know what the exact sequence of events, but Jinder Mahal said something about Hook. He didn't know who Hook was. So Tony Khan was talking about how Jinder Mahal is getting a world title shot, even though he hasn't won a match in a year. And of course, this sent Twitter aflame. And like, instead of just letting sleeping dogs lie, Tony had to like justify everything and like just talk shit to Jinder Mahal, talk shit to WWE. And fine, okay,
It's
like
Tony. It's Tony. He's got to throw in his.
It is absolutely, but
2 pennies.
Like, I have to sort of piggyback off of what Town said, was that like, he's done this so much. Now is he just doing this to try and make his company hotter than it was? It's hard for me to look at that and be like, no. it's also hard for me to look. So the thing that I get away from this is like the Young Bucks, Kenny Omega, and Hangman and Cody were were a big part of AEW coming together because of All In, right? These guys are wrestlers who like are working for this wrestling company, like helping to build it. And we all thought like Tony Khan coming in as a billionaire fan was a great thing, except now he's a Twitter wrestling fan. And I just, every time I see it, I go, dude, just put your phone down. Just put your phone down. Town, you had something to say. Go ahead.
I think he's passionate, and I think he's passionate about all wrestling, and I think he built this thing, and he did this amazing thing, and he was the one that was behind it.
Mm-hmm.
You could say Young Bucks, and then, but without him, it doesn't happen. So it's his baby.
Yeah.
And I think on top of that, I think he's a wrestling fan, and I think if you and I and like the three of us, if we sat down and looked at the fact that Jinder Mahal gets a world title shot, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Why? He hadn't done anything, and he didn't do anything when he was champion. So
I have a question though. Did he get his did Jinder ever get his contractually stipulated rematch after he lost his title?
No, because he went down the card. He was too busy jobbing.
This could be just long-term booking.
It's not. It's not. But that's kind of my thought. I think.
Zing.
I think a lot of what Tony Khan says is what we're thinking.
Zing pow.
He just happens to own the opposing company, and I think he feels like he's under attack, and he's going to fight these guys because it's like.
But he's so not though. He's so not. He owns a company.
He just feels that.
He does. Like, I'm not going to dispute
way.
that. He absolutely does. It seems that way. That it feels like he's under attack, but he's not. Like, he does this shit, and like, people talk shit about WWE. You don't see Triple H getting on the horn and complaining about that. Like,
yeah, but I don't think that's a good. I think
he's too busy counting his money.
I think that
that's fair.
I think that what the fact you're missing is that 2 years ago he was the king of everything.
Mm-hmm.
We looked at him as the savior of wrestling. I still think he is, because without him, I don't think WWE is doing what they're doing. And I think Tony's got a lot more shit up his sleeve. I think he'll be just fine.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
he's absolutely forced change on their part.
Yeah,
like they're not doing the things that they're doing without the catalyst of there being a new game in town.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that Tony is. I think he is very targeted by the internet audience, big time.
Mm-hmm.
And he's very targeted by WWE fans who are just taking these shots, and it's frustrating.
Yeah,
it's frustrating as an AEW fan, because I'm an AEW fan.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to say I'm not a WWE fan, but like, I can't watch it because it makes me want to fucking put a screw into my head. But I hope it doesn't. I hope that changes. That's what we talked about. We talked about that in the last episode. Was like one of the big things, Bud, that you said was WWE is going to be the company to watch. I think that's totally true, and I think that's awesome, because I think when they're at their peak, the professional wrestling industry in this country is way better. When it's 2007 WWE and they're doing the worst shit possible, nobody wants to deal with that. But I think Tony is targeted. I think he's targeted by a group that's very loud. I don't know if it's a majority of wrestling fans, because I don't think it is.
Sure.
I think a majority.
He's made such a thing of. He's made such a thing of not being an on-air personality and not being a character and all that. That whenever he decides to start firing off, either his Tony Khan is a huge announcement tonight, or firing off on Twitter, like it's chum to the sharks.
Mm-hmm.
So much pausing in that. You're cutting out really badly.
God damn it.
But he's a fan,
Mm-hmm.
and he is being targeted by that group, and I don't think it's the majority of wrestling fans, but it's loud,
and toxicity can really eat at a person.
Yeah,
I get you there.
He's very targeted,
Mm-hmm.
and he's not wrong. Like Jinder Mahal can say who's Hook. Of course he is. It's fucking Jinder Mahal.
For sure.
He's not a true like.
He's a fucking heel on the competition.
Yeah, and he's not like a. I don't know. He's a body guy. He's like that guy that you look at, you go, oh, he's got a body. He looks like a wrestler, but he can't actually fucking work. I don't care how people feel about Jinder Mahal. The guy's not the good worker.
But
then you have AEW. You have them building
prototype.
up. Then you have them building up Hook. They've been slow building him for how long?
Mm-hmm.
And we're gonna put him against Samoa Joe. That's kind of a big deal, and that's kind of one of those where's Hook at things. So I think if I look at those two matches, Tony Khan's not wrong with what he says. But if Jinder's gonna do that because he's in a spot to do that, I don't even know who Hook is. Yeah, because if you don't know who Hook is, you're an idiot. So it's pretty popular. Like if they hired Hook, he'd be out there saying, "Oh man, I'm so excited to hear he's such a great asset." So it's bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure he probably crossed paths with someone while Taz was there too.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think I just look at it and I think that I don't know. I think Tony is. I think you're right though, but in a way, it's like, okay, Tony, get the fuck off of Twitter.
I just like. There are times when he shoots shots at WWE or that's mostly WWE, and it makes sense because it hypes up the card, right? Like sometimes he'll send out like an AEW Dynamite is tonight. Look what WWE is doing, but he's like more clever about it, and great, that's fine. But there are times when he just sounds like a whiny internet fan, and it's at those times where I go, God, just put down the phone. Is it going to do damage to his business?
Put down the phone and shut.
No, like, but the problem is it's not doing any good either. And we just look at that and we go, it's not a good look. At what point in time does it potentially turn people away? Because it looks an awful lot like the same kind of shit. I'm not saying that that this place is TNA. I'm not saying that AEW is WCW. But it looks like the same kind of shit that they did when they were firing shots at WWE.
I think one of the things that is getting forgotten here is that like the WWE is really good at taking really subtle shots and really kind of twisting that knife.
Yeah.
And he's responding. When does it become a negative for them? We know what their loyal fan base is.
Mm-hmm.
It's what we're getting right now.
Mm-hmm.
So they're in that 750,000 to 920-ish thousand range. That's their loyal fan base that isn't going to go away. I think losing that fan base would be really, really hard.
At this point, absolutely.
It's just what they have.
Yeah.
And they're an alternative, and I think there's two sides to this, because one side is Tony Khan should just fucking ignore them and do his own thing.
Yeah.
But at the same time, a lot of the fans that he has, us included, we're disgruntled WWE fans. And we get pissed at WWE, and he is in the same exact boat that we are.
Mm-hmm.
Because part of me thinks if that's a dude that I think would love to promote WWE shows, or would have in the past, or done something with them and like helped out, or like got a job there, you know what I mean? And I think he's just frustrated with that place, because I sit here and in my initial, and this is something I'm trying to change. When I see a WWE story, my initial reaction is always negative. I'm like, that was stupid. Like they'll show something from Raw, I'll be like, oh, it was fucking dumb, or SmackDown, I'm like, oh god, that's so stupid. And I think that's just the mindset that we've been pushed into, and I think I think Tony's very similar to us. Now, does that make for running a company from a business standpoint? Is that a good thing? Probably not. You're probably right. It's probably not a good thing, because he's got to kind of just pay attention to his own shit. But that's hard to do in this landscape, especially when you have, WWE. They're going to take shots, especially when they're on top. They're going to take shots. They're going to be very calculated, and they're going to manipulate any way they can. So, in like when they had the Dynamite on Tuesday, and they put the big show across from on NXT, they're clearly WWE sending a message of, we're trying to fucking take you out. So I think he feels under attack, and I get it.
Mm-hmm.
I get it.
You make a very good point that like Triple H is a WWE fan because he's always been WWE. The difference between Triple H and Tony Khan is not that they're different fans of different companies, because I think Tony Khan's still a fan in much the same way that we are of WWE. He grew up on it, and so he sees a lot of the stuff that they're doing, and he cringes like we do. And so you made a very good point that like they're making these calculated shots. He's not, because he has a passion for the product that they're putting out, because he remembers how good it was. Yes,
his responses are emotional. WWE's responses are calculated and thought out.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to blurt something out. Tony Khan is, because Tony he wears his heart on his sleeve, and that's because he's a fan, just like us.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's a good analogy, bud.
It's just so I have the same reaction every single time. The same reaction that Leon just had. What did he do now? Tony Khan's in the headlines. What the fuck did he do now? And I just go, oh god.
I wonder. I don't wonder though. The other piece of that is he's doing so much in that company.
Yes.
If he can get some more people, kind of with power doing shit, maybe that'll change. Maybe if you get some more wrestling people in there. I think their struggle right now is, like we said, those short-term storylines.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the CM Punk thing is just a bitter pill they're going to have to swallow for a little bit. Like, there's no other way around it. The best thing that could happen to Tony Khan is CM Punk punches somebody in the WWE in the throat. Which the likelihood of that? Let's give it 3 more weeks. So it's just like, because then everybody's gonna be like, oh, this guy's just an asshole. Because that's what'll happen. Because if he fucks off in AEW, their children don't know how to handle him. In WWE, then it's gonna be his fault. Because there's a double standard.
There is, yeah.
So
yeah, you make a very, very valid point.
Yeah.
Do
you have anything else on that one?
I don't. I worried about Tony. I'm worried about Tony. We're worried about you here, and we just want you to be healthy and safe. I do think they do sometimes struggle with promotion. I think they must, because this kind of stuff always happens right around Dynamite or right around Rampage, when he's trying to like push Rampage or push Collision. And I think if they get more people in there working on working with their social media, working with working with whoever.
Their audience for those 2 shows is pretty much where it's at too.
Yeah,
I mean, they're both about 400 to 500,000 people,
mm-hmm.
which isn't a real good look for Collision. But Collision, motherfucker, I can't find a reason to watch Collision, and I try. I mean, I love AEW, but it's just like it feels. Whenever I watch it, nothing truly important happens. The important shit happens on Dynamite.
But they keep doing that thing where they just like they don't really book anything for Collision or Rampage until like the last possible minute. I mean, they ran through some of the card this evening, but like
I'm gonna go and I'm gonna have a really unpopular opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I think they should end Collision.
I don't.
It's
not unpopular here. Like,
I don't think there's a point. I think you focus back on Dynamite. I think Dynamite would improve. I think one of the things they had, the mystiques they had in those early days when we first started watching it, when it was like brand new, and I don't even know when you came in, but you did not see everybody every week,
mm-hmm.
which works really fucking well for a wrestling show,
mm-hmm.
because then when somebody appears, it's a little more important. It's not like we're going to see MJF and Adam Cole 40 times in this show. And I think that was one of the things that kind of made them different from Raw and SmackDown.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, absolutely.
And now we don't have that. Now we're seeing them, the same guys that are fighting on Dynamite are wrestling on Collision.
That is,
which is like
just seeing them every week on Dynamite is bad enough.
Yeah.
I mean, I say that very lovingly. Like, I love Hangman. We don't need to see him every week. But seeing him every week on Collision and Rampage, and like, that's the reason why Rampage has become sort of a testing ground for guys like Yuta, because they're like making their name over there because nobody else is really showing up. Like, Collision is the place aside from Dynamite.
They initially wanted Collision to be like CM Punk's show. They were going to make him a focal point of that.
Mm-hmm.
Should have done it. I mean,
they did. It didn't work. Like,
they did it for a little bit, and then they just put him on Dynamite all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but that was the problem with CM Punk too. Is when he was there, he was out every week, and people kind of grew tired of him.
Yeah,
and it was just kind of like, okay. But he did a angle with Drew McIntyre, and they both laid on the ring ropes, and it was the craziest thing anybody's ever seen. I watched it, and it was stupid.
Drew McIntyre finally says what he wanted to say to CM Punk. I didn't actually watch it. I have no idea.
I'm gonna face you in the Royal Rumble and throw you over the rope.
And you're a poopy pants. Which is actually true, because he did poop his pants on SmackDown.
That's actually an accurate story.
It did. You said it on the DVD, so like you can't be mad that I said it.
It still seems like he's just like walking on eggshells and trying to be super nice to everybody.
Yeah,
it doesn't feel genuine.
That's fine.
Yeah,
that's fine. He can be that guy. Go get your paycheck. Like, he's made his name. He doesn't have to be edgy. That's fine with me. So next on our list, I wanted to talk about the Undisputed Kingdom, primarily because the more that I read about them, and the more that I think about them, and the more that I see them on TV, the less I care about them. I'm very happy that the Kingdom has a place. I enjoy the Undisputed Kingdom as a concept, but we've seen Adam Cole do this. Like, this Undisputed thing, like this sort of stable thing, is very, very similar to what he's done in the past. And I don't want to see Wardlow do, like, Wardlow's basically doing the exact same thing that Luchasaurus is doing, and what Wardlow has done in the past. So it's just like, it's hard for me to watch. I am perhaps I'm being overly critical about it, but
I disagree on the Wardlow thing. He's doing what he did before, but he's not doing what Luchasaurus did. I think he's going to be the one that's kind of like, I'm not doing what you want me to do, because you can already see he's kind of like, yeah, I'm not doing that. So I think that's going to be
fair.
And
yeah.
honest to God, maybe this time it can work out right, and they can actually get the push behind him the right way, because he's a star. So like, no matter what they want to do with him, he's a star.
He's in a different position than he was even with the
Max.
Even with the Four Horsemen stable, the potential Four Horsemen stable, the one that we wanted to happen. So I feel like he's in a better place now. It's just all very samey, and that bugs me. My one dream booking moment tonight was, what happens if we see the same thing happen with Wardlow as what happened with CM Punk, but where MJF is the one that convinces Wardlow to turn on the United Kingdom. No, the Undisputed Kingdom. That's United Kingdom's a different place. But like, even that is kind of, I don't really want to see it. Like,
I don't have an answer yet whether or not I like the concept. I think you're still not happy that they split up MJF and Adam Cole. And I think you're not going to be over that one for a while.
I mean, I think you're oversimplifying. I think you are correct. I'm still sour about that. But if they turn the corner and Adam, like, my biggest beef with it, I love the idea of the Undisputed Kingdom without Adam Cole. Why couldn't they have put Jack Perry in there? And there's probably a reason why they don't have Jack Perry in there.
And I'm sure he's not there.
But you could have put somebody else in that position, or just like made it Roddy Strong, or like, my beef is not with the faction. My beef is the fact that they wrecked something that
the
was
list
so
of people
unique
I read that are debuting
to
at the
do
Royal
something
Rumble,
that's sort of just meh.
on the WWE
that's
fan
been
sites,
done 100 times.
and I get it that
Yeah.
they're just a lot of them
It's
are living in a different world.
Loca?
Dean Ambrose constantly. Well, Dean Ambrose is going to come back. John Moxley's no good. It's got to be Dean Ambrose. Realistically, could I ever see Moxley going back to WWE? I could. And I think he'd go back as Moxley. I think he would. I could see him getting a big payday and going back for a little bit.
He loves doing his deathmatch shit.
Yeah, but it's when he's older,
just being able to
Hall of Fame.
He loves being able to just show up random places and shit.
Oh, I know he does, but at some point they're going to want to put him in the Hall of Fame.
No,
and I can see him come back and having a mini run going into the Hall of Fame.
Yes, I have enjoyed Adam Cole on the mic. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that it's boring or stupid.
Yeah. That's scary. Flair getting in the ring tonight. Holy shit. No, but
Jesus,
Dean Ambrose is one. Daniel Bryan's popping up. MJF obviously is everywhere. Ricky Starks.
Okay, that's a maybe.
They talk about the Tanahashi.
He needs
another one that they keep saying.
What he needs.
Except they do not call him Tanahashi. They spell his name wrong, and I don't know who the fuck they're talking about. Hideo Takayama. That's what they kept calling him. Hideo Takayama.
That's
Are they talking about?
They're doing better with that this time.
From fucking New Japan, or are they talking about Takeshita?
No, they're talking about Tanahashi.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Go into WWE, damn it. They're convinced.
I was like, you just made the head of the fucking company. Yeah, he's totally coming to the U.S.
No, that's what they think. That's what they fucking think. I stopped reading the comments because they're so ridiculous. It's just.
I want to live in that kind of fantasy world town. I want to live there. It sounds fun.
Mm-hmm.
That's fucking put the goddamn pipe down booking.
And not the weed pipe, the crack pipe.
Yes. For clarity's sake, yes. The goddamn
I totally
pipe.
agree.
Yes.
I think that this is going to be a great forum for the.
Could be a meth pipe
the
too.
Four of them.
I think so. Yeah. I think
who aren't Adam Cole to get.
Sting
more notoriety.
I've seen Sting's name too. Sting's name has been on there. They've been saying, well, Sting's probably going to come back for Rumble so he can retire at WrestleMania.
Oh my god!
And I'm just
I don't think that's true.
Well, the problem here is
what happened to him there?
The problem here is this: is as AEW fans, we have a pretty good knowledge of what's going on in WWE. We have an idea of their big storylines. We know who their wrestlers are.
No,
for WWE fans,
I feel like I've explained myself why this is not great booking. They don't even know the fucking
wrestlers' names.
But
they talk about them.
So is yours. Like when you were saying
then
if you don't split them apart, what do you do?
Tanahashi, dude.
That's the question I want answered.
Change his name
I want to know what you do with them when they are together.
You can't fucking change.
That is the reason why it was such a unique storyline.
And he's also not going. Like that's the second part of that. They just have no. They have no fucking concept.
Then you pull the trigger, and you break them apart.
It's just like it's so toxic. It's
I want to be that delusional.
I am
fun.
But they cut the cord before
fun.
They could really find out where this friendship
I don't know why
AEW's
making such a big deal about Jinder.
They really only had one or two interactions after the world title match.
It's like,
where they were like, hey, buddy, and like we're gonna root for each other and all of that stuff.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, that's fair, but all the same.
I want to live in fantasy land, not lobotomy land. Okay.
There was another person that was talking about if WWE wants to end AEW.
I am not backing out, and I recognize that what they did
and I'm like,
in this scenario
it's still really
is what is typically done.
Not how that,
and it makes sense from that standpoint.
Are they gonna send him
but that's
in
the reason why I didn't want it to happen. Was because this is how it's typically done. Two guys become friends, and then to track it back a little bit. Sean Ross Sapp sent out a tweet about how back in the Attitude Era, they were releasing results online or on screen. They were sending Jeeps and shit and like the billionaire Ted skits. And he's like, y'all are really tripping over all of this, like a little tweet. Like, seriously?
Yeah. I think wrestling fans are more...
Volatile?
Volatile.
Insane? Brain damage?
Offended. They're very offended. They get offended.
Yeah.
Because back in the day, I remember
easily angered.
I remember sitting at the lunch table in middle school, like in 1995, 96, when like WCW was hot, and having arguments with people about which one was better. You were involved in them, bud.
I'm sure I was.
We argued all the time, and I was always like WWF. WCW's better. They have Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan's old, and you just gonna do an argument with people that like don't really know anything about wrestling. They just turned.
WCW has Goldberg.
That was before Goldberg.
Yeah.
Goldberg kicks Stone
That was
Cold
before.
ass.
That was before the NWO. That was like Booty Man era.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna have to call shenanigans on that because I don't think I was watching religiously then. I was watching a little bit.
Booty Man would have been like a hair before that. Booty Man was like 94. This would have been like 95, 96.
Yeah.
When we were in middle school. That was when WCW. That was when Nitro started.
Mm-hmm.
That was when those conversations really kicked off.
And it was. I think it was me and our dear leader that were big on WCW. Although I didn't watch it that much. I was pretty big on it, but I still flipped back and forth a lot. It depended on the night. Like sometimes Nitro was better, sometimes Raw was better.
That's what I always thought. But I was more of a WWF guy because I like grew up on it.
Yeah. Let's talk about Mercedes Moné, and then the other free agent, who actually I don't think is a free agent anymore, Nic Nemeth, because he just showed up in NJPW, aka Dolph Ziggler.
I don't think his is like long term though. I think he's just going there doing a stint. I don't know what he's gonna do.
Maybe a couple tours.
I think he's more interesting of a choice than Mercedes because Mercedes wants to get paid, and I'm pretty sure Tony Khan paid her. I think she's just going to AEW. I think they're waiting for the right time. She should though. I mean, fuck it, she deserves it.
She does. She's been underrated by WWE for far too long.
I hope to fucking God, if they bring her in, they let her do her thing and they don't do weird shit.
See, and I worry. You said that, and now I'm worried. I am worried because their women's division is getting better, but it still needs some work. Like,
yeah, I would say yeah. I think.
And what happens to Britt Baker? Because she's been off of TV for almost a year. Like, she's been on a few shows here and there, but like for the most part, she's just been gone.
I think she comes back as a heel with Reba or Rebel, whatever they're going to call her, because that was when she was Fire.
I could see that.
I think they bring her back in that role and they let her be Fire. Because that's what she needs. Fire, not later Fire. Just let her go.
Hater?
Yeah.
I don't think you put Hater with her. I think Hater comes back and I think Hater does her own thing. I think you split those two. Because if Hater comes back, she's just going to have to be a lackey. And then we're taking an angle that we should have done like a year and a half ago and we're doing it then. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but...
Like, let Hater come back. They can cross paths. They can bring that shit up.
But left...
Hater...
Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
They left as friends. I think if they came back as friends and we started seeing a lot more friction between them, that break is going to make a lot more sense. And the payoff, I think, for that is going to be monumental. And it might be the thing that puts them, that skyrockets both of them, honestly.
Could you bring Hater back as a heel?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Everybody fucking loves her, though.
That said, We did see
That's
AEW properly book Keith Lee and Swerve when Swerve was just starting to turn heel. So I think you can do a face heel sort of dynamic there. Because
you could.
Britt left as a face.
They did do a good job with that. They did do a really good job with that. That's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't even think of that one. That was very well done.
But I also look at Mercedes Moné and I'm like, who do you put her up against right now?
I think you have her come in and you just have her put on good matches. I think that's what you do. I think you just have her stabilize, and obviously she's going to be the champion. But could you imagine her working with like Willow? I think that would be a really good match.
That would probably be a good like comeback match.
Yeah. Well, that could be a good little feud, actually.
Yeah.
They're both strong style nerds too.
Yes.
Like, I think that
Very
would
true.
be great. Her and Toni Storm would be. Her and Hayter. I think her and Britt Baker could have a really good thing. I worry about like Sky Blue and Julia Hart because I think they would just get eaten alive by her.
Yeah, they're not quite there yet.
They're still making their name. I think they're still on the level of like they're still working with Chris and Willow, and I think they're still gaining their notoriety. Yeah, which is good.
Statlander would be another good one for Sasha. I mean, there's a lot of. They need to make some moves, and they need to change some shit up in that division. I think a heel Chris Statlander just fucking murdering people. I want her to go with Stokely and just have him turn her into a total monster.
Yeah, we haven't really seen that. I mean, Nyla Rose, but they kind of have. They didn't run with her.
I think she's a huge hire. If they have her now, we don't know. She could pop up on Raw on Monday. We have no fucking idea.
Yeah.
I don't think she will. I think she'll
be number 30 at the Rumble.
Right out of who else? Who are the women that are going? I don't know. They don't talk about that.
Probably mostly NXT folks.
Well, the AEW roster apparently is just WWE can take them whenever they want.
Okay.
Yeah, we've never heard of contracts.
No, it's WWE and AEW are gangs, and they're just fighting each other. That's the thing, is I think WWE fans really think that. I think they really think that wrestling companies are gangs, and they're just gonna fight each other.
Well, no. I think
the big Dukaroo.
And I think that they think that the WWE is so powerful, they can do whatever they want. And it's just mind-boggling.
Not to get like too something. I don't know what this falls under, but like I look at what happened with I look at what happened with WCW, and we literally saw it happen. We literally saw WWE take over a company and then take over another company in ECW. So like we are smart enough to understand that it wasn't just like they just like ran into Eric Bischoff's office and like took the deed to WCW and said, haha, it's ours now. But not everybody is that. Like there are still a lot of people who think wrestling is real. I wish that weren't true, but like
I mean, past a certain age, you should probably not think wrestling's real. I mean, it should be pretty obvious that.
But
yeah,
I'm kind of inclined to think from our interactions, from what we've, whatever. The one positive right now is that this tribalism sucks, but the wrestling business is hot. Yeah.
I mean, it's like TNA is doing great. AEW is doing good. NXT is good. WWE is good. ROH isn't bad. Like there's in like GCW, and you're starting to see some of those indie promotions get a little bit of heat. You know, they're doing good. So I don't think it's bad. I think we remember the Attitude Era and the Monday Night Wars, and how insane it was, and how brutal, and it was just literally a fucking war.
Yeah.
And I think the shit that we have going on right now is really kind of just petty and bullshitty, and it's not. So it's just the people now a lot of people that are watching wrestling that are making the comments on these boards are like between the ages of 15 and 20, and they weren't even alive during the Attitude Era.
I do think there's probably a decent number of people who are like our age, slightly younger, who remember those wars and remember them fondly, and they want another war.
Yeah, well, that I believe, but I think a lot of the real just stupid shit I think is from the younger generation that doesn't understand.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's not because they're dumb, because they're not. They're just like everybody else. They just didn't experience it the way we did.
Mm-hmm.
Now we sound old.
Well,
Fuck.
We are. We're in one. Yeah.
Love it.
Do we want to talk about Nic Nemeth for a minute? I think that he's going to do cool things, and I'm interested to see what he's going to do.
I am too. It looks good. I want to see him outside of that bubble. His brother was with him too.
Yeah. Ryan?
Yeah. I would love to see those two come into AEW as a tag team.
Mm-hmm.
I would love it. Also, did you see the end of you saw the end of Dynamite, Leon. Did you pop when the Bucks came out? I know they're your favorite tag team.
I was so confused. And I was like, oh, okay, they're not going to do his final match as a single like we were thinking. They're going to do as a fucking tag team, and these guys are good at challenging them. And boy, I'm shocked that they booked themselves into fucking Sting's last match.
I mean,
we'll see.
They came out for nothing, and they're good. And he's going to challenge somebody else.
At least it'll be a good match.
I want to see. I would love to see it.
Everybody go jump off with something in that one,
including Ric Flair.
Oh,
God. He got in the ring tonight. I almost puked.
I was worried that he was going to get injured. I was like, Hobbs, do not touch him. Do not touch him, Hobbs. Leave him alone.
He can't even.
I'm pretty sure Will Hobbs is now dead.
I feel like Sting got that worse.
Did you see that?
I did.
On that fucking thing.
That didn't break the way it was supposed to.
No, it super did not. He just skidded across it.
Like, so let's take this backwards bump off this.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, man.
Do you know how I want that match to end, Leon? Between the Young Bucks and Sting and Darby? I want the Bucks to both hit Sting with a go to sleep and then pin him. Because the internet would break. I would do it just to troll everybody.
Oh.
And as we've learned, that is plenty reason for them to do anything.
That's true.
So, yeah, we'll probably see it.
Yeah. So if you're watching,
probably see that now.
I don't think he's
like they haven't figured that out already. Come on now, bud.
That's fair. I think my prediction still stands. I think it's going to be Darby. But the problem with that is a Darby versus Sting match requires Sting to carry the match more than he has in like tag matches. Right?
I don't think I don't know if he can.
Yeah.
Unless you have a lot of a lot of ways to hide his.
Unless you have a lot of Gaga in that match.
You're going to have a shitload of Gaga.
It's going to be Darby going 100 miles an hour into one spot. Then they'll, sell for a little while. Throw some strikes. Set
Darby
up another
could
spot.
Do it. Darby could do it.
More into that.
Darby could do it. But I don't.
He could.
I don't want to. I don't necessarily know that I want to.
I don't think I want to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not if it was hey, you're my last match. I want to go out on top fighting you, fine. But if it's Darby's going to turn on him, well, no.
I don't want to see that.
No.
And
I
also,
think it's got to be a respect
thing. That would be so fucking dumb.
I think the Bucks would be great because I think they give them a great match.
Yeah.
I think that would be fucking awesome.
I just I would prefer to see it with somebody who needs the rub of pinning Sting if that's the way that they're gonna go.
The only thing though is if you want to make them uber big heels,
yeah, that's fair.
have him in beat Sting.
Pin Sting. That's a very good point.
Because everybody hates him.
Yeah.
Because you guys got CM Punk fired. It's your fault. Even though CM Punk's a cunt.
And Bryan Danielson was the one who was on the committee, so.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. That's the reality is everybody's pissed at them because the CM Punk marked them. That's really what's hurting AEW right now is that.
Yeah.
Because his fans are a toxic breed. They're toxic.
Yeah, breed. Leon. No, I'm just kidding. You're not one of them.
Leon's pretty toxic.
We're not talking about body odor. We're talking about personality.
We're talking about both.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
But that is one of the issues that AEW has.
Yeah.
Is that fan base turned on them, and that was a huge part of what they were doing.
Yeah.
And that whole fucking thing backfired. Because somebody couldn't play nice in the sandbox.
In hindsight, that was a real mistake because he brought a lot of eyes on the product, but he is a cult of personality, and so they came with him, and that sounded dirty. They came to the show with him, and they left a lot of them.
They're just breathing heavy.
I think some of them were already there. And when he came, it was like their hero came home.
Mm-hmm.
And then when he left, they were like, well, fuck this place.
They fired our guy.
Anyways. It was bullshit.
Whatever.
Yeah, pretty much.
Just go watch NJPW.
This house is a fucking prison. Planet bullshit.
Yeah. I mean,
universe of it's ducks, camel dicks.
I sit here right now and I look at the situation of him being there and what's going on in AEW, and I think AEW's in a better spot. I think CM Punk's in a better spot. I think WWE's in a better spot. So I think shit worked out.
Yeah,
like great. You got Punk, and I think one of the beautiful things for Punk in WWE is he doesn't have to be relied on the same way. Because in AEW, he had to be essentially the guy, though he got surpassed by the end. There was a couple people that were a little more important than him. But he had to be the guy. In WWE, he's just a dude.
Yeah.
You know, he's no higher on the food chain than Seth Rollins. He's no higher on the food chain than Cody. He's 2 rungs below Roman. He's just not, you know. You laugh, Leon? But tell me when I'm telling lies. He's 2 rungs below Roman because everybody's 2 rungs below Roman.
I mean, this is true.
Steal my fucking line.
So he doesn't have to be. He doesn't have to be the guy, which is. I think that's good. I think that's less pressure on him.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
because best for him at the moment.
Yeah, because I think that pressure got to him too. Of everything was so live or die by him. And now, I know we hate Jim Cornette, but Jim Cornette, when I listened to him talk about it, had a really good point of, you got CM Punk on your show, and you went from averaging like 875 to 925,000 people to like 975 to like 1 million. Is that jump really worth the amount of money you paid the guy? Because it's not that big of a jump.
That is a very good point. Yeah.
And, he's a needle mover, but the needle doesn't move. But. It's not like fucking Steve Austin. Oh, you're on the show. Our rating's gonna go from 2 million to 7 million. Okay, cool. He's not on that level. Nobody is anymore though. That's not a knock on Punk because Punk's the dude. Fucking carved out his spot. Everything he has, he deserves. He fucking earned it. Great. I hope he's happy. But I think the world's kind of balanced right now with professional wrestling of Punk and AEW didn't work on a couple different levels. And Punk and WWE, for him personally, is probably a better spot. So good.
He gets to play games with Kofi on his bus. Yeah. That's great. Love it.
Kofi. You're making me crazy.
He doesn't do that anymore, Leon.
He stopped doing that like pretty quick because it was stupid. Do we have anything else?
I think that's our show. I don't have anything else.
All right. Good luck editing this one.
It'll be a good time. So this has been the BREWDCAST.
Sorry. I tried.
It's okay. I might not edit it at all. It might just come out in its full glory.
That cold open of you being a boomer trying to get your fucking headphones to work is like 15 minutes of gold. This might be the most watched podcast we have ever. Just crazy or weird old man tries to work technology. That should be the title of this podcast. And it might be right there. That could be our title.
There we go.
Weird old man tries to work technology.
Why are they talking about wrestling?
As two people make fun of him constantly.
Weird old man struggles with technology and fails. And okay.
So this has been Bud, Leon, Town, and the BREWDCAST. So long, everybody.